Okay, I'm out here in my little Toyota and I'm learning things. I'm still messing around with this little heater. I wanted to see what size fuse I had in my cigarette lighter, and I got out the manual. It's amazing what you can learn from your manual. And I learned that there's a secondary place down here to plug something into, which is kind of cool. I didn't know that was there. And I also learned that I looked in all my fuses and I couldn't find any that had anything to do with the cigarette lighter, and I couldn't find any that were blown. But this manual's telling me there's a set of fuses right here behind the ashtray. So, oh, interesting. Well, no, maybe that's not the ashtray. Maybe it's behind this thing right here. Oh, you can see I got money in that. That's for tolls. But it looks like that thing drops down and there'll be a fuse panel behind it. So, I should pop that out. And we should take a look behind that. Yeah, okay. There's also fuses up here, and there's fuses over here. There's a fuse. There's fuses in more places than one around here, so I'm going to poke around with that and see if I can figure out which fuse goes to the cigarette lighter, and see how big a fuse it had in it, and kind of go from there. Those of y'all that never done this kind of thing before, I'll let you watch me. I'll show you how I find a bad fuse. I go to one side of the fuse, and if it lights up, I go to the other side. If it lights up, that fuse is good. And I just work my way around. Now the diagram tells me where that cigarette lighter fuse should be, but I did not find it where it should be, or where I thought it should be looking at the diagram. So what I'm doing now, I'm just testing all the fuses. Not all of them are going to be hot. If you find one that's not working on both sides, it's probably not a problem. If you got one that's bad, it's going to work on one side and not on the other. And that means because the power passes through these fuses, and that breaks. It's designed to break before it would burn up a wire and set your car on fire. Basically, a fuse is kind of a designed weak spot. And so far, I haven't found one that's bad. So what am I going to make of that? Because it says in my little diagram that fuse is supposed to be right in here. See, there's a diagram on the back of this thing. And this says that the cigarette lighter fuse would be here. If I read this the way that looks, let's see, there's 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row, all the way on the 5th row, the bottom fuse right there is the one that should be bad, but it's not. Bang, bang. I'm wondering if I should check a different kind of appliance in that cigarette lighter plug. Maybe it's not the cigarette lighter, maybe it's the heater. I'll go get something else and plug into it to test that with. Well, okay then. You know what? I was right. The cigarette lighter isn't blown because it's working. It's working. I got this little power inverter that I use to charge camera batteries, and it's lighting up. Let's plug it into this auxiliary down here. Right on that. Working. That explains why I couldn't find a bad fuse. So, it's not the fuse that's bad. It's something in this unit itself. And I noticed it looks like this is quite a nice plug here, but it looks like there's grooves in the end of it, as if you could take this off right here. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm wondering if there's an inline fuse behind there. I've seen that before, some cigarette lighters, because this light doesn't even light up when I plug that in. And I've seen some cigarette lighters that had an inline fuse built into them. That would be my next thing, is to try to take that apart.